The email lands mid-morning with a familiar subject line. Contract renewal, confirmation. It's from the supplier you already use. Same logo, same signature. You reply with one line, "Thanks, received." The action is simple. You acknowledge the renewal email. At the time, it feels like nothing. You're not agreeing to anything. You're not negotiating. You're just being polite, letting them know you saw it. Clearing the notification so you can move on with your day. The service keeps running as normal. Invoices look the same. Access stays open. Nothing changes on the surface. You forget about the email almost immediately. Until a few months later, when you try to make a change, you reach out to cancel, or downgrade, or switch providers. The reply comes back quickly. Calm, professional. It thanks you for getting in touch and explains that you're now within the renewed term. Early exit isn't available. The dates are listed clearly. You reread the message, certain there's been a mistake. You didn't renew anything. You didn't sign a new contract. You didn't say yes. You just acknowledged an email. That's when the earlier message is forwarded back to you. Your reply sits there in the thread. Short, neutral, unremarkable, but now it's framed differently, not as courtesy, as confirmation. The renewal notice was sent, you received it, you acknowledged it. The process moved forward, the first narrowing happened right there. You point out that you never agreed to new terms. The response doesn't argue, it doesn't accuse you of anything. It simply explains that the renewal followed the notice period. That confirmation of receipt closed the loop. From their side, everything required had already happened. The conversation stops being about intention. It becomes about sequence. There's another version of this that happens at work. A software license, a service contract, an outsourced provider. Procurement sends around a renewal notice for awareness. You reply to say you've seen it. No objections, no questions, just acknowledgement. Later, when budgets tighten, you're told the commitment is already locked. The notice went out. The renewal date passed. The confirmation email is on record. What looked like passive admin has been read as assent to proceed. A third moment makes it feel final. You're told the terms are standard, that the process is automated, that changes can only happen at the next renewal cycle. Everything sounds reasonable, but nothing moves. What makes this unsettling is how little resistance there was. You weren't rushed, you weren't pressured, you weren't even asked to agree. You were asked to acknowledge, and that acknowledgement allowed the process to continue without interruption. The mechanism underneath isn't dramatic. Renewals don't need enthusiasm, they need continuity. Notices are sent. Time passes. Silence or confirmation gets treated the same way, as no objection. Once the window closes, the system stops checking for intent and starts relying on what was allowed to stand. By the time you realize that's how it worked, the dates are fixed, the term is active, the exit options have narrowed. The leverage you thought you still had never made it into the record. The hardest part is recognizing who this catches. Not people who sign things carelessly, people who reply promptly, people who keep inboxes tidy, people who think acknowledging a message is the safest possible response. The reversal at the end is this. The email you answered just to be professional didn't just confirm receipt, it confirmed the path forward. And the part of you that tried to be cooperative is the same part the process reads as having let the contract renew without a fight.